back to my channel. Let me just introduce myself and just say that my name is Sarah and I am gardening in Zone 10B. We get very mild winters. It's the end of January and it's about 82 degrees right now, so it's pretty warm. I know a lot of gardeners I watch are from the UK and they're bundled up inside and wishing that they can get out and start to sow seeds, and I'm very grateful that I live in a climate where I can garden year round, and I definitely want to take advantage of that. With that said, I'm happy to be starting my garden channel, and I've named it Sarah's SoCal Garden, and you'll see my dogs in these garden videos a lot. Beckham, he's a West Highland White Terrier, and I also have another dog. He is Curly, and he is a cockapoo. I'll be showing you guys how I garden, the kinds of seeds I use to sow, because one of the things that I was very intimidated to do early on in gardening was to start my own things from seed. And I know that is a very obvious thing to do for a gardener, but I live pretty close to a really great nursery that's the prices are just ridiculously low, so I would get a lot of starters, and that was my excuse for not starting things from seed, except for radishes. But I wanted to challenge myself last year and to really take my garden up a notch and start my own things from seed. And I have a lot of things in my garden that are that started from seed. I have limited space, so I'm sure a lot of you are familiar or probably have the same situation. So I'm going to show you guys how you can do it and how I've done it. Being able to feed myself with 17 beds that are raised and are also beds that I've made inside in the ground with the soil that is here on my property, and it's very hard clay soil, so I've had to put down manure and soil amendment. And one of the main challenges is being that there are tons of eucalyptus trees in the other side of my property that is part of a park. And years ago we tried to grow some squash back here, but it wasn't really successful because we didn't have the right soil, and we also didn't consider the eucalyptus trees. Now that I was able to find the right soil ratios, I'm able to grow, as you can see, pretty much anything that I want. And a big part of that is making my own compost. And I do have one compost bin there, and I have another compost bin that it gets neglected, but this is my main compost bin, and I've got loads of compost out of that just from kitchen waste. If you are interested in seeing more gardening videos, please subscribe. I would love that so much, and give this video a thumbs up, and I guess I'll just go on and start in on the winter garden tour. This is, by the way, my backyard garden. I do have a side garden on the side of my house, and then I have my back garden, which I like this garden back here more because I'm really taking the time to make it into a English garden, kind of mix cottage garden and also like part potager garden. So we've laid down some rocks and we laid down some gravel, as you can see, and I put this little wooden picket fence. Okay, so as you walk in, I have some paper whites that I've potted up. That is just some extra potting soil I keep. And this year I'm growing potatoes for the first time, and I am growing the Yukon Golds, and I'm also growing red potatoes. They're just like the red roasting potatoes. Here is my potting bench, which I absolutely love. It was my mom's potting bench, but she doesn't really garden anymore, so I've pretty much taken it over. So here I just have some miscellaneous things, and then I have this wine crate, which I took from a restaurant that I used to work at, and I just use it to hold my dirt. So this is the compost that I use, just an all-purpose compost that I use to sow my seeds in. Some Walla Walla onions I need to get in the ground, some garlic I need to get in the ground, some more potato seeds, this cute little tray I got, some more miscellaneous seeds, Those are seeds I haven't opened, and these are seeds I have opened. And those are nasturtium seeds I've saved. These are some plants I'm going to be planting up today. This is salvia, and this is a very beautiful flower. I'm not even really quite sure what that is. My lovely little bench. And in here I have a blueberry plant, which is getting some blooms on it, finally. And you can see right there, there's the blueberry flowers. I have some flowers. I believe those are zinnias. I have some celery and some Swiss chard and some collard greens. And then I have a worm bin, which is great. This really helps to help the soil out way deep underneath with the worms. And then I have lots of winter brassicas, some red Russian kale, dino kale, red cabbages. I have some dill, some peas over there. And this is the raspberry patch. And I just depotted these raspberries down here. They look very weak and very spindly, and that's because they are. And I've been watching several YouTube videos on how I need to be pruning these. And I'm just scared that if I prune them, they won't come back, which out of all the videos I've watched, that really doesn't happen. They always come back. So then in this bed, which I love, giant red mustard with some peas hiding back there. I have Brussels sprouts, which are doing quite well. Those are some seedlings and a lavender plant right behind that. And then in this bed, you'll see the same brassicas kind of repeating themselves. I have turnips, more brassicas, this beautiful purple broccoli. These two beds, I do have problems with slugs, so I have done the very infamous mirror trap, which has worked flawlessly. As you can see, there's slugs in there, which is really gross. I'm gonna try not to touch it. But there are several dead slugs in there, and it seems that my plants are actually not being eaten as much as they were, because they started to eat this lamb's ear sage that I just put in not that long ago, and I did not want that to be eaten. I have some carrots. This is my seedling station over here, because this is the part of the garden where it gets the most sun. So I put all of my seeds and my seedlings over here to germinate, and I like to, because it's colder at night, I do keep them in shoe boxes, and then what I do at night, if I remember, I will just close the lid like that just to keep some of the heat in. But it gets so hot here, if I don't have the top off of these, those seedlings will die. Hi, come on. This is my composter, and as you can see, it is full of things. And we just use a composter in the house, and we bring it out and we just dump it in there every other day. A lot of it is filled with coffee. I would say the compost is probably 40% coffee grounds, which is great. These beds are great because they're raised, so it's harder for the slugs to get in. And yeah, these beds are just great. I have Romanesco, some purple cauliflower, and then on the bottom I have carrots and parsnips. I have a second bed. Those are kohlrabi seedlings. These are some peas. And you can see this area is kind of shaded, and that area has the sun still. And I am growing some arugula. Those are what all those microgreen looking things are. That's arugula. Some beautiful cauliflower. But it has been hot, so it is splitting. And it has been really hot, so this purple one has definitely shot up. So I'm probably going to harvest this and maybe saute it up or put it in a soup or something. And if you guys are interested in seeing cooking videos, I'd be happy to do that because I do have a background in cooking. And oh, I wanted to show you guys this really cool, see that down there? That is actually Romanesco. So the rest of my garden, I have some mints that I actually took from a main mint plant and I cut it off and I put it into 2 pots. We have a lemon tree right here, which is great because the bees love the flowers and the hummingbirds like to come and feed off of the flowers as well. This is my onion bed because this bed, for some reason, the soil is a little bit sandier and the onions seem to be liking it. There's a kale plant, it's doing okay. I have some kohlrabi, a lot more kohlrabi. This is a potato planter. I think there's Yukon Golds in there. This is everything else I'm starting from seed, so more kohlrabi. These are shallots, fennel. I'm growing lots of fennel because I absolutely love fennel. I love the way it grows, I love the way it tastes, I love the flowers. And over there I have chamomile, which is starting to sprout up. I'll show you guys. Little baby chamomiles. This is dino kale, some Swiss chard, and this is the back view from my garden. So it's quite relaxing. I love coming out here. Okay, so now that you guys have seen my backyard garden, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the other part of my house and show you the side garden. Okay, so this is my side garden. As you can see, it's more narrow and it just goes along the back to the corner of our property. And before we had raised beds here, everything was just grass and that was it. So this is just a nice way to kind of turn an area of your property into an area where you can grow things to feed yourself. And also it's great for the wildlife. We get tons of hummingbirds, that's why I have a hummingbird feeder. And yeah, it's just great. So here is this bed, which the scarlet runner beans are just going crazy in January, and it's nuts. This is my largest bean. I have some Thai basil, some Swiss chard Thai basil, and beautiful geraniums that need to be pruned. I have blueberries, these great, beautiful nasturtiums. They've just taken over, which is okay. Giant mustard. I have carrots, quite a few of them, which I should probably thin out, but I've never grown carrots before, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And I have some kale right there, some more flowers that are just popped and bloom as lemon thyme, which is great. I have lots of different types of thymes in my garden. I have garlic, beets, and Swiss chard and cabbages, and that is some more lamb's ear sage in the back. Nasturtiums smell so good every time you walk by them. Oh, they smell good. A huge parsley that just took off the moment that I put it in this raised bed. I have beets, and I'm excited for these because these are those. That'll be really cool to cut into. Purple kale. I have a tomato plant that is just still producing tomatoes in the middle of, actually in the end of January. Nasturtiums. This one has the prettiest flowers. I actually planted elephant garlic and some shallots, and they have not popped up yet. Then back here I have 3 more beds. These are fairly newer than the other ones. Some red cabbages. Those went kind of leggy, They were shaded out by that grass that used to be there. Some more of those cool looking beets, marjoram, dill, sage, kale, cilantro, which I love. It smells so good. This one looks like it's starting to flower. Borage, which the bees are gonna love. Carrots. And this bed is the butterfly and bee garden bed. There's a bee over there, but I don't see any bees on this. But pretty much everything in here is for the bees and for the butterflies. I have flowers and this random grass and this tree, which we actually plan on hiring a arborist to come and take it out because my mom really doesn't like it. This plant right here is a vine lilac. Sorry, there you go. And the bees really enjoy that. I got to take it off at the pole and tie it up to the back. But yeah, so this is the other view of the garden. So I like to keep this part of the garden tidy, and every time people walk by, they just, you know, love it, and sometimes they ask questions even. Thank you guys for watching my winter garden tour. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And remember to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to, and thank you for watching.